Hi, my name is Jonathan. Welcome to the Haystack. This is response to Christian Homestead's latest video. He did a video about the building of the third temple, the red heifers. There's more. If you saw my last video, you saw what I spoke on about Messiah ben Judah, Messiah ben Joseph. And the things that the links to the rabbis and their talks are very, very long. So, and it was picking up all throughout listening, and I took a ton of notes. But, so those links are in the previous video. Probably put them in this one later. On top of everything that's going on with the building of the temple, here's what the rabbi was saying why Jews have not been able to build the temple. The Jews have not been able to build the temple the same reason that David was not able to build the temple in Jerusalem. It's because he had blood on his hands. Now, Israel has been at war for a long time. That land was blessed, preparatory for the return of the Jews to Israel, and since then it's been happening, the past 200 years. And this is the work of Messiah ben Joseph, Moshiach ben Joseph. And Joseph died, but the work went on. His apostles blessed the land. Elijah came, restored sealing keys. Moses came. The righteous priest of Aaron, nobody knows who that is. I speculated that, perhaps this is John the Baptist, or perhaps it is Stephen, the first martyr. But now I'm thinking from Christian Homestead, Jared's last video, it occurred to me when he started talking about the sons of Levi do make sacrifice. And we've heard this come back to temple work, things like that. Or even I've stated that the priesthood has been on the earth for nearly 10%, a tithe of the time since Christ walked the earth and ministered. But if the Jews can't build their temple, and it's the job of Ephriam or Joseph to stand at the gate and to fight the battles of evil, and he dies in the midst of that, living 45 years. I'm not sure how long Joseph Smith lived, but his work was supposed to be, the earthly ministry work was supposed to be like 45 years. But the movement, said by some rabbis, to be carried by the lineage of Ephraim. But there is a spiritual movement there as well. The lineage of Ephraim being England all the way down to the United States, and then all those places where the Ephraimites have settled, like Australia and Canada, other places. But Judah, they are unable to build a temple. They could prepare, but it isn't until their hands are no longer red with blood. It's no longer that they make a covenant of peace, like unto the anti-Nephi Lehis, when they made their covenant with peace. And it drew a large slaughter, but it was their sons who came in, and all of them lived. And they saved the Nephites. And anyways, this is supposed to happen, that Ephraim, Joseph, protects Judah. And since then, who's been the major help? Us. We've been helping. The church itself is working peace. It's introducing a war of peace. Whereas the lineage, the blood lineage, is offering up a physical protection. And so we're having a spiritual front and a physical front. Now, we already physically provide for this, but the rabbis also stated that it will be Moshiach ben Joseph, the Messiah ben Joseph. Not a Messiah to be worshipped, but a restorer, a preparer. That it is he that will reunite the lineage of Jacob and Esau together, which Esau being mainly the Muslims, the Arabic countries, And then the Jewish nations, they can only be united through Moshiach ben Yosef. Now that is going to be a spiritual reuniting. And this is happening on so many fronts. That blessing, that promise is echoing through the generations to today. The war, the Battle of Armageddon, in the Valley of Megiddo, the Valley of Decision, it's just as much spiritual, or even more spiritual, than it is actual physical. And rabbis have a tradition that it's more likely a spiritual battle over the physical battle. So what does this mean? When do they rebuild the temple? And why are they not building the temple? And why are we building temples? We are building temples because we are a peaceful people. And the points of time when we were unpeaceful, not peaceful, our temples were destroyed. Abomination of desolation, taking away of the temple. And we have the taking away the abomination of desolation within our human body temples, with people not recognizing their own gender. They're disfiguring themselves. They're destroying their identity. They're destroying their temples like never before. So that's happening. And this has always come and happened at the fall of a nation or empire, because they get to a state of complacency. We see it in the Book of Mormon. We see it in history. So this is very exciting. And so thank you, Jared, for doing the video, because I think these are a lot of puzzle pieces that when we start putting together, we start getting the big picture, that we start understanding, well, why don't the Christians recognize who Messiah ben Yosef is? Oh, they think it's Jesus, like that, but like Messiah ben Judah. Well, what if that righteous priest who is to come of Aaron, what if it was the Jews who end up taking a oath of peace? I mean, we do have righteous Levites who have been practicing and preparing for this whole time. Could that righteous priest come from them? Is that possible? I don't know. It's speculation, but it's better than nothing to think about. And is it these red heifers that will make that righteous priest of Aaron? Because then we have Moshiach ben Judah, Moshiach ben Joseph. We have Elijah, and we have that. Along with those four key players, which are considered carpenters or craftsmen, is also to bring saviors on Mount Zion. How many of us have that in our patriarchal blessings, that on the morning of the first resurrection we'll stand as saviors of Mount Zion? And where else are people considered or known or thought of as saviors on Mount Zion? But you think, no, there's only one savior. There's only one savior. Yes, but the scriptures also talk about saviors on Mount Zion, because the Savior enlists us for these latter days through the movement and work of Moshiach ben Yosef. And if that is Joseph Smith, I don't think there's any clear doctrine or statement that it is. But there is no one better who fits it, unless we consider it just a nation. But then we'd have to consider Judah the nation. And then that would disregard Christ. And we cannot do that. And so these are individuals, but I think that the movement echoes through that tribe and body of people and continues. One rabbi stated that the work of Ephriam, Moshiach ben Yosef, that is to, even though he dies on the battlefield at the gate of entry, which is funny because I just wrote a little response to a critic, and I said, look, we're not the gatekeepers of heaven. Rather, we're the ones who have been called on to go clear the path and call all who will hear that the path is clear and the gate is near. And I'm like, oh cool, that rhymes. And that felt inspired. It gave me goosebumps. And then I find this. And that also connects with the other thing I've related with the Norse mythology, how there's kernels, cores of possible prophecy, where you have Heimdall, the son of Odin, who stands as guardian of Asgard, heaven, and the Rainbow Bridge, the Bifrost, which connects heaven and earth, or Midgard and Asgard. And it's the weight of evil, the weight of the monsters coming across, sneakily coming across, led by Loki, the deceiver. And the weight of it just shatters the Rainbow Bridge. And I'm like, hold on a second, Joseph had a prophecy given to him by the Lord about the rainbow being stricken and taken away. And in that time, there'll be great cataclysms, and then you will know that the time is near. Well, the symbol of the rainbow has been stripped away from us. They've distorted and mutilated the imagery, and it is a covenant that reunites, that the Lord looks upon in Genesis 9 and says, okay, I remember the promise I made with Enoch and with Noah, and okay, we're bringing this all back. Sorry, I got caught up listening to this, and my sink is backed up. I'm outside my house clearing out sewage, so I just bought some tools and clearing out stuff so we have easygoing sewage. So Jared, you're not the only one that has stuff go wrong. You're not alone. We're all there. Things are going wrong for a lot of us. But oh my gosh, isn't this exciting? Isn't this exciting? It's funny because Heimdall, who watches over the Bifrost, he is the one who watches over. He's the connection in both worlds. He's the one who sees around corners. He's the one who sees all, who is the connector. Almost like a prophet, you would say. But of course, people go, no, that's paganistic, blah, 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 blah. You know what? Use a little bit of discernment and a little bit of the Spirit and tell me if there is not some kind of kernel of truth, or is that just a wildly accurate thing that connects everything. Perhaps the Lord is watching over us, and he always has been, and he did have other sheep that are not of that fold, and that he must also bring. And perhaps this shows how the Lord has been preserving a remnant for so long, and how much he loves us, and how many times we've fallen away and trusted in our own thinking, the arm of flesh, and not trusted in the Lord. Oh, are you pumped up? I'm freaking pumped up. And I love that I'm getting so many apples on that apple tree. I'm just happy. Okay, I want this to be short because I don't want people to get bored and just walk away, because I feel like this is important. And there's a lot more to this. Oh man, hot diggity dog, this is a good day. Have a good day.